Hello chess friends and welcome to Zalof's chess channel and welcome to my series How to Spot Chess Tactics. So in this series we are searching for positions in which tactical possibilities are present, in which you should at least consider the option to do a tactical shot, and today we'll analyze the position of the so-called lack of the rook connection. The lack of the rook connection is sort of a trigger for you. It has to be sort of a trigger for you in which you should at least consider the option to do a tactical shot. So because sometimes in chess we play a chess game, then we don't recognize these tactical possibilities. We play a passive move, and even if we have won this game, we could have finished this game in a much earlier stage of the game because we didn't recognize the tactical possibilities, and then we are a little bit frustrated because the game could have been attractive, could have been with some great sacrifice possibilities, and that's why in this series we are trying to improve our tactical awareness and also our tactical skills in the middle game. So the first instructive game about this lack of rook connection, it's a game played by Gorkon. It's against Mikhail Tal. Mikhail Tal, one of the best tacticians in chess history, the legendary magician from Riga. I think he had one of the best tactical awarenesses in chess history, so that's why he always searched for tactics. That's the most important thing, and he always considered the option of a tactical shot. So here we have the element, we have this lack of the rook connection because we have the bishop in between. So there is also another element in this tactical shot, because here we have already in weakened pawn structure in front of the king, and we have also the lack of defenders, because in the last move the knight moved from knight to f3 to knight to d2. So here we have, as I said, three elements: the lack of defenders, the weakened pawn structure in front of the king, and also the rook connection, and that's simply too much to play against the legendary magician from Riga. Here he had I think many tactical shots in his head, and he found now of course the move knight takes on f2. So here after king takes f2 we have queen to h4, the check. You see how dangerous this lack of rook connection is, because now white would love to play here king to g1 and secure his king maybe on h2 or on h1, but that's not possible because here the rooks are not connected. This bishop stands in between, so that's why here a perfect attack by the legendary Mikhail Tal. So here king to f1 had to be played, but now Mikhail Tal simply continued to push here with the bishop to d4, preparing immediate checkmate threats on f2. So that's why here knight to d1 had to be played in order to prevent this checkmate threats. And here we have a new position in which these rooks will never be connected anymore. Now even two pieces stand in between, so that's why here Mikhail Tal played a very nice queen sacrifice. If you take, of course, g takes h3, then we have bishop takes h3, and it's a very nice checkmate with these two bishops. So that's why here after queen takes h3, bishop to f3 had to be played in order to cover some possibilities. Now queen to h2 was played with the preparation to play dangerous attacks, queen to g1, and maybe some f5 possibilities. Open the e file here, and the game knight to e3 was played, and now f5 played by Mikhail Tal. Simply using now all of the pieces in the attack, we have knight to c4, and now we have f takes e5, e4. Here bishop takes e4 was played. If you try knight to d6, it's basically a game over, because we can simply take e takes f3. If you take the rook, then we have a very nice checkmate here. You have to first queen to h1. If king to f2 happens, then we have queen to g2, and it's a checkmate because the knight is pinned here by the bishop. So this is again a very cool checkmate with this queen and the support of the pawn. So that's why bishop to e4 had to be played, and now bishop to a6. You see how all of these pieces of Mikhail Tal's are used in the attack. We have the rook connection, which is the most important thing, and now the main idea is to double up rooks. The bishop still needs one more move in order to make this rooks connected. Here bishop to f3 was played. Here Mikhail Tal of course plays the most active move, rook to e5. We have rook to a3, and now rook to e8. We have bishop to d2, and you see now we have another tactical shot. Knight takes d5, bishop takes d5, and now rook takes d5. You cannot of course take again, because now you get queen to g1, and a very nice checkmate. So that's why here king to e2 was played. But now Mikhail Tal simply took bishop to e3, rook to e3, bishop takes c4, and in this position Gorkon needs to resign, because after queen to c4 we can play queen takes g2, and again it's game over. So you see how dangerous it is when you don't have this rook connection. Here Mikhail Tal, of course, here played this very tricky move, this provocative move, knight to g4, forcing white to play the move h3, and now knight takes f2, and you saw the continuation. This was a perfect attack with the bishops, with the support of the rooks, and this is one of his, I think, best chess games that Mikhail Tal has played in his career. So let's see another game. Here we have a game between two legends. I think we have a game between Bent Larsen against Boris Spassky. Boris Spassky here with the black pieces, and in the last move Bent Larsen played the move h3, attacking the knight, but with the problem you have to push the pawn in front of the king. You have secured the king, and you don't also have this rook connection, and that's why Boris Spassky uses this moment immediately and pushes the pawn here on h4, because as I said, we have the rook connection, white doesn't have the rook connection, and now fun things will happen in this game, because here of course Bent Larsen took, but now we have h takes g3. You have to go with the rook to g3. If you take, then this other rook comes into the game, and there are also some dangerous check possibilities here with the rook to h1 in the game. After h takes g3, we have rook to g1, and here Boris Spassky finds another great move, rook to h1, sacrificing the rook just in order to make this pawn mobile. Here after rook takes h1 we have g2. Here rook on f1 was played by Bent Larsen. If you try rook to g1, then queen to a4 is very dangerous. You have to move the king, but now queen to h1, and you have to basically take here the queen, and now we can promote another queen. You have to bring the bishop in between, and now it's again a very nice checkmate here. So here after rook on f1 we have queen to h4 anyway, king to d1 had to be played, but now we have another queen, and after g takes f1 here in this position Bent Larsen resigned, because we can also take now this pawn, go here, and simply checkmate here white with the move queen to e1. Again, you see these problems of this lack of the rook connection. Let's go to this critical moment here after h3. Here Boris Spassky, the former world champion, simply pushed forward h4, realized the problems in white's position. So here he had sort of a trigger. As I said, white doesn't have the rook connection, which white would love to have now, and this would be a perfect position to kick away the knight with move h3 if you would have, of course, the rook connection. But now after this h4 move, it's basically game over here for white. So let's see now another example. Here it's a game played by Efim Geller with the white pieces against the former world champion Anatoly Karpov. Again, two top grandmasters playing here, and here we have again the problem. The rooks are not connected. You need many moves with your knight first, and maybe castling is black's possibility in order to make something happen here, to have a firm position. But Efim Geller is not allowing these types of scenarios, because he plays a very aggressive move, rook takes b8, because the knight is the key defender of this pawn on c6. Here queen takes, and now queen takes on c6 was played, and king to f8. Again, okay, black is up the exchange, but will never have this rook connection in the continuation of the game. That's the main problem now for blacks, and you see how problematic this game will be for Anatoly Karpov in the continuation. Here knight to f4 was played. We have rook to a7, knight to h4, with the preparation to play knight to g6 and creating very annoying forks here, or even with the possibility to do some sacrifices with knight to e6. Here queen to e8 was played. Karpov brings another defender into the game, and here queen to e6 was played by Efim Geller. Very cool queen sacrifice, because if you take with the queen to e6, then we can simply take. After f takes e6, here we have knight to g6 the fork. here king to f7, and now we can simply take the knight. After something like king to e8, we have knight to g6, and we are escaping with the knight. We are going into a favorable endgame. We have now here 7 pawns. On the other hand, black has only 4 pawns, so this is now, I think, a completely winning endgame here for white. So in the game after queen to e6, f takes e6 was played, but now a very nice move, knight to g6 with the check. Again, we have some problems. If you try king to f7, then we have a very nice check again, and here if the king moves, then we have knight to g6. You have to again give up the queen. So that's why here Anatoly Karpov played in a different move order, but with the same idea. Queen takes g6, we have knight takes here again, king to e8, and now the same position happens. Here again we are going into the same favorable endgame, and Efim Geller won this game very easily. So let's go back here. As I said, these are critical elements. This tactical awareness is one of the most important things in chess. Most of us in this position would retreat after the move h3. Here knight to f6. Here I hope you realize white doesn't have this rook connection, hasn't secured the rook connection, has some troubles, has also this lack of defenders situation here in front of the king, and has also this weakened pawn structure in front of king. So all of these elements I've explained also in this series of this how to spot chess tactics, so check it out. Here is the link. I think in this series you can really improve your tactical elements, and you can also watch my chess tactics and chess puzzles videos, in which I show you all of the possible tactical motifs that can happen in a chess game, and also with some checkmate patterns. And you can also subscribe to my channel if you like this content. Thanks you for watching, guys, and chess is the best, of course.